I love how every time I make a video, it always just like looks different. Like I always have it set up differently. I don't know. Also, excuse my voice. I'm kind of sick. It's really dark. It's fine. I mean deep. It's fine. So this is an emergency video, ladies and gentlemen. An emergency video. You wanna know why? Because I just finished the new season of Dragons and Nine Realms because I'm a child. I'm a literal child. And just to keep the record straight, I'm not watching this show because I think it's good. Like, of course, no hate to anyone who does think it's good and who enjoys the show. Personally, I do not. But again, I'm 20 years old. Here I am stating my age again like I do in every video. I don't know why. But still, even as like some shows, like for instance, I grew up on shows like SpongeBob, like The Fairly Odd Parents, Race to the Edge, those kind of shows. And the thing is that this is supposed to be like a spin-off, obviously, of Race to the Edge, but like it's much worse than Race to the Edge. It's just everything about it is just very bad. But to be honest, this season is where I drew the line. Like I usually watch the show for almost like comedic purposes at this point, but this season is where I draw the freaking line. I literally draw it. It's so bad. So let me explain why. So of course I watched all like 7 episodes. I think they have 7 episodes. I watched them all. And let me tell you, there are lots of things that just plainly don't make sense. I feel like the show, in all seriousness, had got like a major budget cut this season. Maybe people aren't watching it, so they didn't have enough money to make a good season this season. Because generally, it was like, I'm not talking about the animation really. It's just like, I feel like they wanted to make more episodes, but they literally didn't have the money. Like, they generally couldn't produce the amount of episodes they wanted to do. Even though I do know every even though I do know every season only has like 8 episodes. But this one in particular should have been like at least 10. At least 10. Like, even more so. There should have been more episodes because there's been so many plots that they had in the season that was never explained whatsoever. It was almost like every episode was like a separate episode and the characters didn't know what they were talking about or forgot what they said in previous episodes to the point where I'm like, what? So let me go through all the episodes in particular so you guys can understand. Let's go. Wow, so there's only 6 episodes this season. Wow, I did not know there was not that many. But again, there should at least been 10. I'm not just saying that, but I feel like there's so many things in this episode they just or this season they just didn't explain. And again, this is spoiler. If you haven't seen the season, here's your spoiler warning. So, the first episode is called Punishment and Torture. Great first episode name. But torture is spelled like torch, like those torches you use to light up a room with a candle or whatever. It's spelled like that, not torture as in like, if you know what I mean. So basically, the summary on Hulu says, while punished, Tom must sneak out to rescue the riders from Buzzsaw. First of all, god damn you, Buzzsaw. No one cares about you. No one freaking knows who you are. Why the heck are you in the show? Why are you in the show? I don't know what your motive is. Why are you with these dragons? Why are you hanging out with these 15-year-old kids? It's so freaking creepy. No one knows who you are. We don't like you. Get out of here.
Thank you.
The second thing, for a second, I actually thought that Olivia, Tom's mom, was actually being a good mom for once. She was actually being like concerned for her kid. She actually found out about the dragons. Well, at least Tom having dragon. And she was actually not on board with it at first. Understandably so. She was like, hello. Like, what the hell? Why the heck are you with these dragons? And of course, she was on edge about it. She didn't understand it. She didn't like it. Whatever. But like, the whole episode, she was really adamant about him going down to rescue his friends. And see, to me, this is where the similarities between Hiccup from the original franchise and Tom from this franchise ends. Because people keep trying to compare them just because they're like the main protagonists of a dragon show. But they are like very similar in lots of ways. I mean, very different in lots of ways. Not similar. They're very different in lots of ways. Is I feel like Hiccup was like a natural born leader. And he kind of like was really quick on his feet. He was quick with his mind. He was quick coming up with ideas. Tom, I feel like, isn't like that at all. Even though he is like the same age that Hiccup was in the first How to Dragon film. But let me also just say, again, spoiler warning, if you guys want to hear. But also, at the end of the first episode, Tom, of course, as the summary said, wanted to go rescue his friends. But the mom wouldn't allow him to. And at this point, Thunder was inside their dome. Like, okay. But so basically he also admitted to Olivia that everyone else is dragons, not just him. And that kind of overwhelmed her. That kind of made her go like, are you kidding me? Like, she was like shocked. Like, which again, understandably so. She was like, look, she was about to pass out with all this information just rushing towards her all of a sudden. So he basically begged to her, saying like, please, can you please let me go? Please let me go rescue my friends. And of course she didn't allow him to. But then the next time they showed them in the room, he was being pouty in the corner. He was being pouty in the corner, just kind of like having a hissy fit, giving her like the silent treatment. If Hiccup was in this situation, do you know how many times Hiccup disagreed with his dad and he still did what his dad told him to do? Like, literally, his dad freaking disowned him. And he still flew a dragon to defeat a crazy wild beast at the end of the first movie. Like, what? And I don't know. I didn't feel like Tom didn't have the passion that Hiccup once had, which kind of puts me on ease with his character. But not only that, I also feel like all the kids in the show, like whatever their names are, like, you know, Tom, June, Alex, Eugene, D'Angelo, like all those guys, I feel like they generally don't have any chemistry, like as a team, I mean, like as friendships or relationships. I really don't see any of them dating. I know they're trying to push a Tom and June relationship on us, but I feel like they generally have no chemistry. Like, I know on Twitter it's a big hashtag Tom and Alex ship, and I generally 100% think they would be much better as a couple. Like, keeping it real, I think Tom and Alex would be so much better, to be honest. And for some reason I feel like they're also trying to push like a Eugene in Alex ship, even though like, isn't Eugene like 18 or something? I really don't know. That's creepy. I find that weird. But I generally feel like no one has that kind of chemistry in the show, and I feel like none of them are a good team. I just don't think they're a good team. I generally don't. I feel like they're only like together just because they're like stuck there together, like on that like island or wherever they're at. I feel like they kind of have to be together. So they kind of tried to make it work, but I feel like they generally don't like each other, like any of the characters, not gonna lie. I feel like they generally don't like being with each other, because it's true. I just don't feel like they're a good team because they always disagree on everything, and they kind of always put their needs before each other's. Like, there's been numerous times where Alex or whoever would be like, oh yeah, the episode where Alex and Eugene had their dragons missing, and then they were like, we have to wait for the dragons, and then they were like, no, sorry, can't wait for the dragons, have to go. But like, then Alex was even like, dude, like, if it was Thunder, do you think you'd be more concerned? And I 100% believe that, 100% think that. That's why I stand Alex. She's the kind of person who like says stuff that's on your mind, which I really appreciate her for. So she's one of the better people in the show. Definitely one of the best characters in my opinion. But like, but like, I don't know. I just feel like they generally just don't really like it. And again, something that happens all the time in the show. They always disagree, and they always have to make compromises for one person who disagrees or something. It's just really annoying. So of course, at the end of the first episode, they find out, like, he actually does go, rescues them. He comes back. It's all good. It's all fine. Whatever. Cool, right? But let me get this. So then we get to the second episode, which is called Welcome to the Wonderful World of Dragons. Great. Love it. So that episode, so this episode basically says Tom orchestrates a safe tour. Oh, I remember this episode now. I remember it. This is the episode where he gives Olivia, his mom, a tour of the Dragon Realm. Because all of a sudden, okay, so get this. Another reason I'm freaking pissed. The second episode. This episode. So this is what I mean by they should have had more episodes this season. Because I feel like it was just so quick paced. Like, so quick paced. Literally in the first episode, the mom was like horrified of the thought of her son being with dragons. She was horrified. She hated everything that has to do with it. She hated that not only he lied to her, but also that he was putting himself in danger every single day. She was horrified with the idea. But then all of a sudden, they showed the beginning of this episode. And she was like completely fine with the idea. Like, completely fine. She literally was like laughing with him, joking with him. She was fine with it. But again, she did go down to the realm to kind of make sure it was safe. So I know she wasn't like 100% on board. But I swear, the tone from like the first episode to this episode literally was like night and day. She was like, oh my god, Tom, how could you be with these horrible reptiles? What the heck is wrong with you? To this episode, he'd be like, oh my god, that seems so sweet. Like, I'm sorry, bitch. Who the heck are you? Like, I don't know. I did find that so weird. Why was it so rushed? Like, they freaking glossed over the fact that she just found out that her son were like playing around with mystical creatures. Like, that's so creepy. So then we go. That's the main thing I didn't like about the second episode. I won't go into obviously whole much details, but of course, she goes down. She sees that like everything is fine-ish, even though they almost died. But she saw how they handled it, so she was like, okay, I think it's okay. I think it's fine. So, but then at the end of the episode, she basically said, you know what, Tom? I'm gonna have to tell the other parents. And they were all like, what? You can't tell the parents? Are you kidding me? Like, they were legit like, bro, what? Like, But this is another thing. They completely forgot what they were doing. Because then we go on to the next episode. The next episode, which is called Barrel of Vine Trails. Let me just say that this episode messed me up. Like, messed me up. I almost literally recorded like a spam video after I saw this episode because it messed me up in ways you don't understand. So another thing, like I said, they forget what's happening in the show. They forget what has happened in the episodes previously. It's crazy because in this episode, in the beginning, all of a sudden they showed like all of a sudden they mentioned that the mom wasn't gonna tell their secret, even though she literally just said she was going to in the previous episode. Like, what? Like, I'm sorry, what? Like, I don't know. That just like, why did they explain that? Literally the next episode, the first episode, she was like, I'm 100% gonna tell the parents. And now she's like, now all of a sudden she's not telling them. Like, what made her change her mind? Like, honestly, we didn't see any of that. That could have been like a 1-second scene. So, okay, I'm sorry. What the? So the reason I say that this episode messed me up is because at this point, Tom's getting closer to find out who his ancestry is. So basically, they show him reading the book, and he translated it a little bit more, finding out that the guy's first name is Hiccup, but he doesn't comprehend that that's a name. I mean, I kind of understand why. It's like not an actual name, but he didn't get that it was a name. He just thought he meant like the bodily function. He was like, okay. So basically, they showed him looking through the Book of Dragons. So when they did that, they showed something that was like his resting place. His resting place. And I don't know why. I know this show takes place like 1,000 years after the movie, or the original franchise or something, but like something about that really made my stomach turn. I know it's a cartoon, I know it's fake, I know it's animation, whatever, but for some reason something about that just genuinely made me go like I didn't comprehend that the original characters in the franchise are canonly dead in this universe. Something about that just didn't process in my head. Like it genuinely didn't, and it made me really uncomfortable. Really uncomfortable. Especially the comment that Alex made. She was like, "Are we really gonna dig up a dead body?" Like, I'm sorry, what? Like, something about that freaking messed me up. So, this entire episode is kind of pointless. Basically, a whole bunch of dragons, like, stole the Book of Dragons. So, they try to get it back from them. That's, like, the entire premise of this episode. But then, at the end, they saw a carving on a tree that said the word haddock. Hiccup haddock. And they, again, didn't comprehend that it was, like, for some reason, Tom thought it was going to be his last name now, like Colson. Even though it's been, like, 1,000 years, it might not be the same name. Like, okay. So he didn't comprehend that that was part of his family, which, of course, frustrates the audience watching. I understand for them not knowing, but for the audience knowing, like, his ancestry makes it 10 times more frustrating, being like, that's who you're looking for. That's who it is. It makes it so frustrating. Oh my god. So that was really frustrating. But not only that, is of course like at the end they find out it wasn't like a burial. They found it was like an actual resting place where he would like chill, like take a chill or something. See, that's what I don't get about this show. Why is all of this in the hidden world? Like, what? Like, Hiccup and everyone didn't live in the hidden world. Why was there that cave drawing in the hidden world? Why was Hiccup's leg in the hidden world? And why the hell is the Book of Dragons in the hidden world? Why is his resting place in the hidden world? Why are they there? What the heck? Did he die in the hidden world? What is going on? Why is his name carved on a tree in the hidden world? I genuinely do not understand that, and that's another reason that kind of messes me up. Because there's a theory going around. Fun fact, side note, yes, there is a theory going around. I don't like this theory, but there's a theory that Hiccup and Astrid took their kids to the hidden world to live down there with the dragons. And eventually, the dragons became so feral that they ate them. And that's why they show Hiccup's leg down there. And that's why they show the cave drawings and the Book of Dragons and all that stuff. I hate that theory. Not only because they get eaten, but also the fact that that it basically backtracks the entire third movie about Hiccup's morals. Literally, like, his moral was literally doing the brave decision of letting the dragons go for their own safety and happiness. And all of a sudden, he just, like, takes that away from them just to live down there with the dragons. Like, that just does. And also, too, he's the chief. He's the chief. How the hell is it gonna take him and his hair to, like, the hidden world and just leave Brooke behind? That makes no sense. So I really hope that is true. But it does make me wonder why the heck all those stuff is down by the hidden world. It genuinely makes no sense to me. So now we're going to go on to the fourth episode, which is called Scent of a Dragon. I'm not going to lie, this is probably my favorite episode this season because it has to do with Eugene. And Eugene was like the worst character in like the first season. Like the first, like he's probably him and Alex are like the two characters who actually have like good development. The rest of them don't. The rest of them don't have good development in my opinion. They're really bad. Ugh. This is an episode where Eugene gets taken by 100 birds, by 100 dragon birds, because he smells like baby dragons. So this episode was kind of cute. It was kind of funny. There's nothing really much bad to say about this episode. Again, it was one of the better episodes because it was like kind of lighthearted. Again, most of these episodes are filler. They're filler. There's no reason for them. Like the episode before this, the whole episode was pointless except for the fact that they found out that Hiccup Haddock was the guy's name. And that also reminds me, at the end of the last episode, the mom just like explained that her great-great-grandfather's last name was Haddock. So that kind of proves that they are in the family, which I will admit was like less stressful finding that out. So again, this episode, cute, nothing much bad to say about it. It was fine. So the next episode, I honestly like, it's faded from my memory. Like, it has no recollection, like, at all. So basically at this point, that goth girl, that goth woman girl who is another villain who literally is pointless to the show. She holds no merit to the show. She's just like the girl version of Buzzsaw. She's really just there for no reason. So of course she's there, and then she gets like poisoned. Yeah, so the mom also gets poisoned, and the mom, gets frozen to death. Not to death, but And then Eugene gets frozen. That's all I can say. It's just like, it's pointless. I have a headache. This episode is stupid. This episode wasn't that bad, but like, the ending is what kind of made me annoyed. So again, I'm not gonna go through the entire show because like whatever, I'm just going through things I didn't like about the episodes. I just finished watching the last episode like just today. And it is like, again, they forget what they're doing sometimes in the show. They completely forget what's happening. Because literally the entire season, the kids were saying that they don't want their secret to be blown. But then all of a sudden, Tom is like, my mom's gonna blow the secret. And they were like, well, let her. I don't like hiding secrets. Like, bitch, what? Since when did you give any hells? Like, when it came to keeping secrets. You've been keeping secrets for like, I don't know, a few months at this point. And you wanted to keep the secret so badly last episode. Now all of a sudden, you're treating Tom like he's stupid. Like you wanted to tell the secret the whole time, but Tom was keeping you from it. Since when? Since when was that the case? It's just really stupid. So of course they go kind of back and forth between the mom telling them the secret, between them telling the secret, between Tom telling her to keep the secret, between everyone to keep telling them not to keep the secret. It was just like a back and forth thing between this freaking secret. Who the hell are they, Hannah Montana? What do they care about keeping their damn secret? It was bad. So eventually, at the end, a helicopter starts falling from the sky that includes D'Angelo's mom, D'Angelo's dad, and Tom's mom. But then the dragons save everyone. They saved them, and that's everyone's first experience with the dragons. And of course, they were in shock, as you can imagine, but they had literally no reaction. Literally no reaction. You know what Alex's moms were like? Alex's moms were like, oh, Alexandra, you have a lot of explaining to do. That's your first reaction? To see your daughter on a freaking mythical creature that turns invisible? That is your reaction? It just makes no sense. No sense. I don't get it. I genuinely feel like this season they just gave up. I admit it. I think they officially gave up this season because, like, I tried to be optimistic with the show because I knew it was kind of low budget and I knew, like, they just tried to make a living and they tried to make a new show. But come on. Like, come on. Like, if you want to make a new dragon show, at least put your effort into it. Because this season, I feel like just skimmed over all the tiny parts. It just left the big questions, which is like, who's Tom's ancestry and keeping the damn secret? That's the two things they tried to focus on, but they had to fill it up with more stuff and more episodes to make a season. So when a new season comes out, I'm honestly debating if I should even watch it, to be honest. I don't know. I feel like I should just for the roast comedy, but I'm not gonna lie. Kind of watching this season made me ill. Like, honestly, I have a cold now because I watched the show. But don't watch my review. If you want to, watch all 4 reviews on Audrey Graywin's channel. I'm not sponsored by her. She doesn't know who I am. I just like watching her reviews because they're generally funny and they're better quality and better edited than this video. This is just me talking to a freaking phone camera. This is my phone, not a camera. I'm too portable for that. So watch hers, and I'm genuinely excited to see what she's gonna think about the new season. Watch her say, like, it's the best season. Because, yeah, I don't believe that. So again, sorry if this offended anyone. This is just my little rants. Of course, if you like the show, no hate to you. You guys are perfectly fine. It's all just opinions. Again, some people might like the show, some people might hate the show, some people are indifferent. I, of course, am on the not really liking it side. But, of course, whatever you guys want, that's perfectly fine. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys next time. I'm working on some, like, Hydra Dragon edits, along with some Glee edits and Grey's Anatomy edits. I'm on spring break now, which is fun. So hopefully I have time to do some stuff, do some editing, do some videos, because I have another video in mind. So I hope you guys enjoy this, and I'll see you next time, Dragon Riders.